If it's Tuesday, that means the Team 53 Late Model Summer Shootout Racing from Slingshot Racing League. Welcome, everybody. I'm Ellis Thomas, joined in the booth tonight by Chris Smith. We are bringing you live racing action in the late model stock cars from Nashville Fairgrounds for the UD Awards Championship race. Yes, that's right. Tonight, we will crown a champion in this short 6-week summer series. More about that shortly, though. A little bit of history about Nashville Fairgrounds for you. From 1958 to 1984, Nashville played host to the biggest names in NASCAR, as quote-unquote Fairground Speedway was a staple in the annual Cup Series calendar. 9 of Richard Petty's 200 career victories came from Nashville, while all-time track winner Darrell Waltrip scored 8 of his 67 career victories at the Cup level here at the Fairgrounds. But the history of racing in Nashville actually dates way further back, nearly a century, as some of the top drivers of the Indy 500 in the 1910s would bring their cars down to this track for events held alongside the state fair. It's originally just a dirt oval, but in 1957 it got converted to the half-mile paved oval and then lengthened to the nearly 6/10 mile layout that it is now. Most recently, the Fairgrounds is at the center of a proposed development project that could bring NASCAR back to downtown Nashville at the Fairgrounds after a 40-plus year absence. Now, Chris, we mentioned the championship race earlier. All eyes tonight are on points leader James Ray, second place Scottie Sobczak, and third place Matt Koontz, who we'll hear from shortly. But we've got a few other drivers who haven't even gotten a win, who've been really close, like Rye Jones, Patrick Colby, and Josh Ward. The points battle from 4th through 9th is incredibly tight, separated by only 14 points. What are all of these drivers, championship contenders, and guys looking to get that first one of the season, what are they going to have to contend with tonight here at the Fairgrounds in this championship race?
Well, they're going to be competing on probably one of the most historic tracks in all of America. You mentioned it before. This track opened in 1904. Most people think that this is probably the most iconic short track in all of America. It has hosted the NASCAR Cup Series, and hopefully it will again one day. If you tuned into the Apex Energy Throwback Series a couple weeks ago at Bristol, you saw how on these high bank short tracks, how fast things can happen and how small wrecks can turn big. This track is similar to that. 18 degrees of banking in the corners. This is a very, very fast track. One of the biggest tracks, the biggest track that these guys will race on all season. So they're going to have to try to find their way around here. One thing that we're going to talk about here a little bit later on is with these sets of tires, you haven't really had a chance to take all 4 too much all season because pit stops take longer in these late model stock cars. But tonight, if you're up near the front of the field, you can take 4 tires under a caution flag here and not lose a lap. So that's going to be an important thing to keep an eye on, along with the championship battle tonight.
All right, speaking of that championship battle, we're going to bring in those top 3 drivers who have a statistical shot tonight to win the championship, and we'll go with the front runner, the favorite first, James Ray. We'll pull him in right now. James Ray, this is Ellis and Chris up in the Slingshot booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
All right, we just got done kind of laying out the championship roadmap here. We're looking at the points as we speak. You are the points leader. You've got a healthy lead. What is the game plan tonight? Are you going conservative? Does that lead kind of influence the way you race?
Yeah, it does, but I'm going to try to hang with Scotty and see if I can't be there at the end.
Is there, I got to ask, is there any hard feelings after last week? We saw that incident between you and Scotty going in that last corner. We know you guys are on the same team. What was that like?
No hard feelings. I knew it was coming. He was farther back than I think what he thought he was, and I couldn't catch it because I was waiting for it. I would have done the same thing. It's just bad timing.
Well, we'll be looking to see how it goes tonight. Hopefully you'll have a clean race, and who knows, we might be talking to you as the champion at the end of the evening. James Ray, good luck out there, my friend.
You guys have a good broadcast.
Thanks. All right, so you heard from James Ray. On the other end of that wreck last week between the points leaders was Scottie Sobczak. We're going to bring him in, and we're going to talk to him now. Scottie Sobczak, it's Ellis and Chris in the Slingshot booth. You got a copy?
Hey, I got a copy with you guys.
Hey, man. Well, you're in second in points. You got a statistical shot to win this tonight. I think you're going to need a lot to probably go your way. Talk to us about your mindset going into qualifying here and into the race in just a few minutes.
Well, we're going to have a perfect race and pretty much perfect execution. And we've had all the statisticians, mathematicians, every statistician out there doing the math to figure out what it's going to take. And the consensus is a perfect race. So we're going to have to shoot for that, especially after last week. We'll have to be perfect this week from lap 1 to the end. So that's where we're at and start the qualifying.
Awesome. Well, hey, good luck out there. And I do have one more question for you. We didn't get a chance to talk to you after the race last week. We just talked to James, and he said there was no hard feelings about that last lap incident between you two guys. What happened going into that last corner?
Yeah, that was a tough one. A little bit of desperation mode, being somewhat far back in the points, but within striking distance. And so it was a last-ditch effort there to not only get a lap lead, but obviously to win. And I got into that corner a little too deep, a little too far, and a little too far up the track with him. And unfortunately kind of took us both out. And I feel bad for that. But yeah, we talked, and it's all good. I know that I was just trying to, remove one position from his finishing order, and unfortunately got a few more. But we'll see what we can do tonight and hopefully make it a little bit more clean.
All right, good luck out there. Have a clean race.
Appreciate it.
All right, so that was Scottie Sobczak. Now we're going to hear from Matt Koontz, who is the third place driver in points right now. Take a second to pull him up through here. Matt Koontz, Ellis and Chris in the broadcast booth. Sorry we had to drag you through a couple rooms there. You got a copy?
I do.
So we caught you a little bit here towards the end of practice. We've talked to the top two. You have a statistical chance tonight. What's going to happen for you to walk away with that championship title at the end of this race?
A lot of luck, I think. I'm really just focused on keeping third, and we'll see what happens for the rest of the race.
Well, you've gotten a win, so it's not out of the question that you could get the win tonight. You think you got a shot at the pole here in qualifying?
I don't. This track just does not suit me for some reason. But, I'll go give it my best effort and see what I can come up with.
Hey, man, well, we're super proud of you, longtime slingshot racer. Glad that you're in the title mix here. And, hey, we'll be keeping our eyes on you tonight. Any shout-outs you want to give before we let you go run those qualifying laps?
Yeah, just want to thank Team 53 for doing the setups this season, and we'll go out there and have a good race.
Awesome, man. Good luck out there. We'll talk to you at the end of the evening, hopefully.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to drag Matt Koontz back down. All right, so we got him back down there. Chris, you heard from our top three there. Who do you think's got the hardest job tonight? Who's got the most pressure on him?
It's easy to say James Ray because he's the championship leader, but I'll go ahead and say it James Ray probably, because if you're Scottie Sobczak and if you're Matt Koontz, I don't know that you put too much pressure on yourself because you almost have to have help probably to win the championship. You still have a shot, but something's probably going to happen to James Ray for that to occur. So I'm going to go ahead and say James Ray.
All right. Well, we're going to be looking at all of these drivers right now. Qualifying is about to get underway, and that means we're going to cut to our slingshot racing pre-race tradition with that national anthem, and we'll be right back on the other end of that anthem. All right, we're back at Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway for the UD Awards Championship race from Slingshot Racing League and the Team 53 Late Model Summer Shootout. Qualifying about halfway over right now. We'll look at the grid here shortly as we watch Matt Koontz, actually Nick DeCesare, roll by in that 00 car. But we would like to make these races entertaining and in a way that viewers can follow. So we've got some stories, some keys to success that are going to be little points that we can check in on throughout the race that we're going to talk about. Chris, we'll go ahead and pull those tips for success up, and I'll let you cover those.
So, we mentioned it before, James Ray probably has the most pressure on him tonight. If he has a clean race and is there at the end of the night, he's probably going to be your champion of the Team 53 Late Model Series this season. If you're Scottie Sobczak and Matt Koontz, you got to have a perfect night. You got to have max points. You got to go out there and try to lead every single lap that you can. And right now, if you look up here at the ticker, Scottie Sobczak currently has the pole, so that's a bonus point right there. That's a point that's taken away from Ray, and that's exactly what you want. Now he's just got to go out here and execute, and you don't want bad luck, but you almost kind of have to have a little bit if you want to have a shot at the championship for somebody else. Ooh, as Rye Jones goes to the top of the board. So that's a point away from one of the championship leaders right there.
My, how quickly things can change.
Yeah.
And we mentioned trouble for the leader throughout the race. The past 2 weeks, our leader has encountered lap traffic and gotten into kind of a scuffle, not a scuffle, but an incident, no making their own lap traffic. And that's going to be something these drivers, including Ray and the other points leaders, are going to have to contend with tonight. We've seen that kind of, really bite a couple drivers the past couple of weeks. So, and speaking of altercations, we had what we mentioned during the pre-race interviews with those title contenders, scores to settle. It seems like everything's water under the bridge for Scottie Sobczak and James Ray. I don't think we're going to have anything to look out there for tonight, but we did have some issues between the 20 of James Suggs and Rye Jones. I think that is kind of buried at this point. Maybe there's a little bit of residual hard feelings. We'll be keeping an eye on those two guys tonight, both of them starting tonight's race. So it's going to be an interesting night. Tire strategy is going to be something we're focusing on as well. When do you take tires? Are guys going to take them early? Are they going to wait for a caution or two before they put those tires on? 3 total sets over the evening. Tire management is going to be key. We've seen it play out in almost a way that's hard to predict. It just depends on when the cautions fall. So a lot of unpredictability coming tonight in this UD Awards Championship race, Chris. And it looks like with just about 15 seconds left, all the drivers have made their laps. And one thing I do want to mention before we hit the qualifying grid is that basically the way this series worked from day one is that Team 53 and Justin Laxton basically created custom setups for each track, and he also provided driver tutorial videos. This is what Team 53 does. It's more than a mere setup shop. It's a community of drivers focused on helping each other get better. And we've seen so many drivers over the course of these 6 weeks use those lessons, use those tutorials, use those setups, and really improve their skills. We'll be keeping an eye on some of those guys tonight, but we can't, thank Team 53 and Justin over there enough for their partnership with this series, which really was aimed at being a developmental series, and I think we were successful in that. So we'll be keeping an eye on a lot of these guys tonight who have gotten better over the course of the season. But right now, all eyes are on that front row and the top 4 or 5 cars on the pole tonight with the Apex Energy starting grid in the UD Awards Championship race. Rye Jones wins the Evan Pienta Pole Award, which means he's going to be entered in to win a free design consultation and a design from Evan Pienta, our graphic designer, for a paint scheme of his choice. So great job, great lap by Rye. Second, Scottie Sobczak. We talked about the importance of missing out on that pole. He's going to have to find those points another way. James Ray, your title leader, is in 3rd slot, starting on the inside of row 2. 4th is Josh Ward. 5th, Evan Pienta. 6th, Kenneth Gallman. I know we got some Gallman fans in the chat. Matt Koontz going to be starting 7th. He's our 3rd place title contender. Patrick Colby, 8th. Nick DeCesare at the 00 9th. Johnny Rapp in that Mission Barbecue car. Couple good finishes the past couple of weeks for Johnny. He's going to be starting on the outside of row 5. James Suggs qualified 11th. Clint Walker, great qualifying effort in that 02 in 12th. Lee Campbell, couple good weeks in a row. We'll see if he can continue that streak. Starting 13th. Tony Caputo, 14th. Chris Blassie, 15th. Brandon Waldrop, 16th. Jordan Ives, 17th. And Daniel Berg bringing up the final spot in the field in 18th. Lots of drivers looking to work their way up over the course of the evening. Right now, they've crossed the line, meaning there's going to be one lap left in the series of pace laps. Ry Jones is going to lead them to the field. And the excitement here is palpable, Chris. I know James Ray has got to be nervous. He's got to make sure he is basically running. He's got to run a perfect race. We mentioned Sobczak and Koontz having to run a perfect race. Don't forget about Ray as pace truck peels off. Ry Jones waiting to the last minute. Green flag is out in the UD Awards Championship race from Nashville Fairgrounds. Jones gets the jump from the pole on the inside. James Ray moves into second. Scottie Sobczak, his title opponent, on the outside in second. Sobczak getting a run off the corner. Staying close to Jones's quarter panel on the outside. Scott Sobczak, remember, he wants to lead as many laps as possible. We got some action further back in the field. Evan Pienta looking to see if he can come after last week's win. Maybe score 2 in a row here. He's in the 4th position. But right now, Sobczak, Chris, looking like he's got a pretty fast hot rod on the outside. He's going to clear the leader, Jones, and he's going to assume the sole lead in this race on lap number 2.
Yeah, what we're seeing is a lot of people wanting to run about a lane up. I was curious to see how this setup would work. The guys at Justin Latz and everybody at Team 53 does a great job making these setups. So I'm excited to see the top coming in like that. And we narrowly avoided disaster on the start. There was a big stack-up effect on that initial start right there. And luckily, everybody got away clean. I don't think there's any damage.
Yeah, it did look like with that kind of delayed start. We've seen that at Nashville before as a track. Caution is out, and that might have been Clint Walker. Going to see if we can jump back and look at the 0-2. Right behind Matt Koontz. See him just loose off the corner, it looks like. Might have grabbed the wall a little bit.
Yeah, it was a little bit, I think he was a little bit yawed out all the way through the corner there, and it just got away from him there on the exit. We'll go back. We'll see if we can take one other quick look at it real quick. And, yeah, just a single car incident, not too much damage. He should be able to keep on going.
Awesome. Good to hear it. He's going to get that thing repaired. And like I said, we are probably a little bit too early here on lap number 6 for any sort of pit stops. These drivers really haven't put much wear on these tires yet. Hey, if you are watching and you're in the chat right now, do us a favor, say hi, let us know what driver you are rooting for tonight, who brought you here, and we appreciate all those viewers watching right now.
Yeah, I said that Clint Walker maybe got away with one, but it looks like the damage is much more severe than I initially thought. He's currently gone 2 laps down and still on pit road.
Yeah, he took a pretty good lick to that inside wall on the backstretch. So Scott Sobczak, if you're the 81, you're sitting exactly where you need to sit right now. You know, the gap's big enough where James Ray's in 3rd, so you can't control that, right? You can control what you can control, and he's controlling his portion of the race right now.
He's doing He's doing
ahead.
everything that he can. What I'm going to be curious about here is I think we're coming to the one to go here. Is he going to take the top? Because we saw on that start right there, a lot of people who were on the top rolled really nice and got good launches on corner exits. So I'd be curious to see if he takes the top here.
I would not be surprised. He seemed really comfortable up there earlier. Hey, and very comfortable. I wanted to give a shout out to the driver of the 42, Tony Caputo, who is sitting in the 10th position. He's picked up 4 spots after starting 14th. So great job by Tony. He's one of those drivers that, you know, we've seen just get better and better each week. That driver from Michigan having a really good late run in the season. He's had some bad luck over the course of the year, but Tony doing a really good job tonight, working his way up through the field. And you're right, Chris. Scottie Sobczak did choose the outside line, and we'll see if that plays a role on his ability and the rest of the field's ability to get going on this restart. Pace truck is off. Lap number 8 about to be in the books. Sobczak gets a great jump on this restart, leaving Evan Pienta and Rye Jones to settle it out between themselves. For second place, James Ray slide back into the 4th position with Josh Ward and Kenneth Gallman in tow behind them. Evan Pienta, Chris, making that outside line work, seeing if he can pull a Scott Sobczak. Looks like he might think better of it. Plus he can get a run off the corner. Oh, almost 3 wide back there between Johnny Rapp and Kenneth Gallman. And Patrick Colby. Looks like we avoided any sort of calamity there with those drivers running on the high side.
Yeah, seeing a lot of cars loose on corner exit. We saw Clint Walker spin earlier. These cars look pretty free right now.
Yeah, they look, I noticed that in practice as we're watching them. They did look really free off the corner. We saw Clint Walker fall victim to that. Right now, the battle between Johnny Rapp and Kenneth Gallman. I know we've got some Gallman fans in the chat right now. Johnny Rapp holding Gallman off, using that momentum from the outside. But right behind them, Matt Koontz, Chris, who has actually lost 2 positions, running 3rd in the championship. He is looks like he might have his hands full right now.
Yeah, this is I wouldn't be too concerned. You know, Matt Koontz is a very, very smooth, steady driver. Not going to ruffle many feathers. He's probably just feeling it out right now. I think he felt better about his race pace than his qualifying pace. So, you know, maybe he is just saving a little bit for the long run here.
Yeah, making that move as we speak on Kenneth Gallman, seeing if he can work that outside. Gallman goes about 2 lanes up there. He's going to have a little bit of momentum off the corner, but Koontz going to stick it in there in that 13, take it down into 1, and see if he can't pick up one of those spots that he's lost with Tony Caputo with that early momentum, seeing if he can capitalize on that door being opened by Koontz, and if he can take the 9th position away from Gallman here as well. But it looks like going to have to wait another lap before that can happen. James Suggs and Nick DeCesare coming up right behind those guys. Kind of a big battle. Throw a blanket over these cars. About five cars fighting for the 7th position.
A little bit of a hip check there. Oh, Tony Caputo and Gallman get together. Yeah.
Gallman, I know the Gallman fans probably watching not going to be excited about that, but Tony Caputo saying, "Oh, thank you, sir. I'll come right through here." But he's got Nick DeCesare to worry about on the inside.
Oh, Caputo is loose right there in the middle of 1 and 2.
He looks really loose. So right now we got a big battle between Koontz, Caputo. DeCesare, Caputo, Suggs, and Gallman.
Yeah, these guys are flirting with disaster right now.
They are definitely flirting with disaster.
Yeah, you know, we're seeing a lot of comers and goers, if you will. I think that once everybody, you know, gets in a groove here and they start cleaning up their lines, I think it just speaks to how hard this track is and maybe how free these cars are right now. It's hard to hit your line lap after lap after lap here. And we got a few guys that are just slightly missing it here and there. And I think it just that brings that comer and goer type of a race, into play here.
Yeah, speaking of comers and goers, Evan Pienta is a comer in 3rd position right now. Working on James Ray on that outside. James Ray actually might be looking to see if he can take 3rd position from Evan Pienta as we see him with that gold paint scheme, that special championship edition paint scheme. It looks like working his way by last week's winner, the 55 of Evan Pienta. So James Ray not really going to settle for 4th position. We talked about the need for maybe a conservative race and pre-race interview with James Ray. So far, I see that conservative approach, but he's not going to settle for, sticking back in the pack and riding behind cars that he thinks are slower than him at this point, which I don't blame him at all.
Yeah, and James Ray, we got a caution on the track. Might be James Suggs. Oh, James Suggs and Kenneth Gallman. Go back here and we can see what happened between these two. A little bit of damage on the left front of Suggs here, and see right here, 1 and 2. Suggs is up the track. Yeah, just yaws out a little bit. Oh, and Caputo gets into the back of Gallman there in the checkup. That's what we were talking about before. Things can happen really, really fast here, almost like Bristol in a way. And a single car incident might turn into a 2 or 3 car incident really, really fast.
Yeah, fortunately for these drivers, the track is a little bit bigger, and we don't have as many blind spots as we have the past couple of weeks with the leaders coming up on these crashes. So Like you said, it could have been a lot worse there. I think the 42 is going to get away with not much damage after getting into the back of one of those cars. And right now, I'm looking to see if we're going to see any pit stops on lap 23 of 150 in the championship race.
I don't
Pace
think
truck's going to be pulling them by. Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, I was talking about James Ray right there before the caution. We were watching in practice. James Ray ran by far more than anybody else in practice. He had over 100 laps of practice, and we saw him there. I think that he has got that long run mentality tonight. Like, he is prepared, to try to manage his tires all night long, and he lost a spot on that restart. Just restarting third, with the leader taking the outside, you're kind of in a bad spot there to lose a position here, and he might lose it again here, but I think that James is really prepared for the long run tonight.
Yeah, James Ray, your points leader, sitting in third position right now. Evan Pienta right behind him. Josh Ward, guy that has shown speed over the course of the season, sitting in fifth position right now. We've seen him. He really struggled with bad luck at the beginning of the season. I think he's put together a string of decent runs here, had a good starting position, qualifying out for in the fourth position. And he's looking like he's got some speed tonight. We'll be keeping an eye on the driver, that number 92. He's raced with Slingshot Racing for a couple of seasons and has shown a lot of speed, gotten a couple of wins. We'll see maybe if another one is in his future at the end of the evening. But great guy, Josh Ward. Almost one of those staple paint schemes we're getting used to seeing that I can almost immediately recognize with that blue and neon fluorescent yellow. So, hey, if you're in the chat, let us know what's your favorite paint scheme out there tonight. That you've seen. We've definitely got some good ones. So,
yeah, that's a tough one we've got a couple of really, really good ones tonight. Obviously, this 91. I've always loved the look of that car. It's a sweet looking ride right there. But man, James Ray, that's going to be tough to top. That's a nice looking ride tonight.
A blingy race car right there.
Yep.
I didn't know you could make a race car blingy, but Ray and that 01 has definitely done it. They are grouping back up for the restart here. Is going to come on lap 27 of 150 here at Nashville Fairgrounds. This is the UD Awards Championship race from the Team 53 Late Model Summer Shootout from Slingshot Racing. Pace truck peeling down to the apron. Scott Sobczak is your leader. He's going to be choosing the outside here. He gets a great jump on the restart. Remember, the restarts are on the leader, so they get to choose. They've got that advantage. Evan Pienta and Rye Jones. Rye Jones going to waste no time in claiming that inside line and propelling himself into second place, but the battle is at third between Ray and Pienta. Ray's got that inside line. We'll see if Pienta lets him slot in there. It looks like he's going to. Whether it's by choice or not sure, but top 7-8 cars single file right now as they make their way through turn one. I see a battle between Chris Blassie and Lee Campbell back there for the 10th position. Lee Campbell's a driver we've been talking about the past couple of weeks, just getting stronger and stronger. One of those drivers who's really benefited from this driver development series. He's also got a new wheel. We see him battling back there for 10th. Chris Blassie doing a great job as well. They find each other on the track pretty regularly. It feels like they run together quite a bit. Lee Campbell getting by Johnny Rapp. Johnny's struggling a little bit, Chris. He's lost, I think, 2 positions over the course of the race so far. He just hasn't taken as well to these late models as he has the regular stock cars. So maybe he can change that tonight.
Yeah, and, with Johnny, it's always hard to predict how hard is he really driving. Is this really all he's got, or is he, just saving a little bit in the bank, thinking about where he wants to be at lap 130 instead of lap 30.
Yeah, we got a little while till 130. Got about 100 laps until that point, but the racing is just as good as is going to be at that point. Looks like the number 92 of Josh Ward get passed by Patrick Colby. Colby is another one of those drivers that we've seen have these moments of brilliance, running really fast laps, running in really good positions, but he just hasn't been able to capitalize on that over the course of the season to get a victory. He's one of those guys involved in that tight points battle 4th through 9th, and he's looking to see if he can get a win tonight. Right now running the 5th position. Just looking at the standings and some information about Patrick, he's had 4 top 10s. So 4 out of the 5 races he's finished in the top 10. but he's actually had 3 top 5s. He just hasn't been able to close those out with a win. Gotten close a couple times as we watch this battle right now between the 9 and the 92.
Yeah, Patrick's always really fast, and I think for him tonight, if he can be around at the end of this thing, and things get a little bit chaotic with cautions, and that's the same for everybody, he's got a really good shot because I would say there's probably not many people in this field that are better on a restart, better on a short run than him. No,
he's got, we've raced him several times, and the short run speed on that guy, makes me jealous. Another battle going on in the field right now for 8th between Nick DeCesare and the 00 and Tony Caputo, who we saw involved just a little bit in that earlier race incident on lap 20 or so. Tony Caputo seeing if he can work his way up to the 8th position, up 5 spots, along with Chris Blassie right behind him. Those are some of the biggest movers of the race. Blassie and Caputo up respectively 5 spots. Caputo working the back bumper of Nick DeCesare here in that 00. It just makes it that much harder as we watched the rear view bumper camera a minute ago. It reminded me, it just like, you got to watch your mirror, but you got to hit your marks in front of you too. We talked about this being a rhythm sort of track, and it's easy to miss your mark. These drivers have a really difficult task on their hand tonight.
Yeah, they really do. And what we're seeing is everybody's up by this point. Most everybody's running a lane up. And I like that. I think that's cool because I think that, it opens the door up, for more side-by-side racing. This guy right here, James Ray in the 01, he's closing in on the back bumper of Rye Jones right now. Seen him a little bit lower than everybody, of course, and when I mention it, he goes high there. But everybody is sort of taking the approach of the late apex, turning down really, really late, try to maximize the momentum. And because of the geometry of the track, I don't think that, we'll watch all the restarts for the rest of the night. I don't think anybody's going to be taking the bottom for the rest of the night tonight.
Yeah, it definitely looks like that one lane up is the place to be. As we see James Ray take his nose and make a move on the number 91 of Rye Jones. This is a battle for second place. And this is going to put essentially the first and second place points runners in reverse order. Scott Sobczak in second place in the title fight is your leader, but Ray looking to see if he can claim second.
Now, this is the thing with the preferred line being that second lane. This is a hard pass to make. It's going to be difficult, because that guy that's running that lane up gets that momentum off the exit of the corner. But James Ray is rotating really, really well right in the center. We see that car, it's yawed out a little bit right there in the center of the corner, and he completes the pass.
Yeah, you got to be really careful, though. Rye Jones going to come back here, see if he can put the crossover or a version of the crossover on Ray. Not going to have the momentum off that corner, but Rye Jones is not a guy who's going to let you pass him easily. So James Ray going to have to be really careful here to just make sure he pulls away and stays out of, trouble, even though nothing would be intentional. Like you mentioned, tough passes, side-by-side racing here at Nashville Fairgrounds can turn sour in a heartbeat. So James Ray looking like he's not going to have to worry about that, at least for the next couple of laps. Just looking through the field right now to see what kind of battles we got going on. Blassie and DeCesare now going at it for the 9th position. Looks like that black and orange Tennessee themed car. Or I think it's maybe it's not Tennessee. Maybe it's
Junior Motorsports.
I'm not sure if it's Junior Motorsports. Yeah. Junior Motorsports themed car making that pass on Nick DeCesare.
Yeah, that was
going to answer back.
That was an impressive pass right there. Chris Blassie looks like he is committed to rolling the bottom. And as DeCesare tags the wall there on the exit of 4. No harm, no foul, though. Should keep on rolling. And we see Johnny Rapp.
Oh, be careful, Johnny.
Yeah, that was close.
He's going to try to really close.
He's going to try to make the pass right here on DeCesare. And we'll start to see right now, what type of long run pace these guys have. We got enough laps on the tires right now. We talked about James Ray looking like he had a long run mentality earlier tonight in practice. We'll start to watch and see if we can pay attention to these lap times here to see who is holding onto their tires a little bit longer than the competition as DeCesare peeks back to the inside of Gallman, but is going to fall in line.
Yeah, we've got, I know Paul Thomas in the chat says tires starting to go away for a lot of these guys. It looks like we appreciate Paul watching. We appreciate Honey Badger and Grizzly 8833 in the chat. Thanks for their support all season long and making this a great active chat throughout the race. Watching Scottie Sobczak, he is your leader on lap 50. We're crossing the 1/3 mark of the race. James Ray is second. Rye Jones is third. Evan Pienta is fourth. Josh Ward in fifth. Patrick Colby in sixth. Matt Koontz, your third place points runner, in seventh. He's gotten back up to where he started, so he's making up a little bit of ground that he lost earlier in the race. The biggest movers we've been mentioning, Tony Caputo and Chris Blassie in eighth and ninth, have both moved up 6 positions. So great job on them. If you're Matt Koontz right now, I just want to jump back to that 13 car for a second. If you're Matt, we heard kind of the mentality at the beginning of the race during pre-race. It sounded like Matt realized that the championship was maybe a bit of a long shot for him, so he's out there focused on having a consistent race and not losing any points to the guys behind him, which isn't a bad mindset to be in. I don't think.
Not at all, and I think he's doing a really nice job. He lost some spots at the start there, but he's made those back up. Currently in P7 right now. Hey, you just got to be around at the end.
Evan Pienta showed that last week.
Yeah, if you're around at the end, I mean, who knows what's going to happen between the 01 and the 81. Anything can happen, and I think that's a really good mentality that he's got right there, and he's looking good right now. You can see right here, I think it's obvious. Oh, we got a car spinning. Oh, no!
Oh, is that Evan Pienta?
It was. So you were watching from Matt Koontz as he had to take major evasive action right there to avoid Evan.
So we'll jump back and take a look at the replay. I'd imagine the 13 car's heart stopped there for a minute, but it looks like...
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, he just got loose. We'll go back again here, and we'll watch it again. He was... I was watching Matt Koontz, and there was a lot of sawing of the wheel going on there, and it just came around on him, and he locked it down, released it, and I think that's what got Matt a little bit confused. Possibly Evan released the brakes and came sliding back, and man,
and these leaders, that's going to bring the opportunity for our leaders to come to pit road, and all of our leaders are currently on pit road. Scott Sobczak and Ray leading them down with Jones and Ward in tow. They all slide into their pit stalls to the attention of their crews. We're going to see who's going to win the race off pit road. If anyone takes 2 tires here, we've seen that be a viable strategy in other races. I think Sobczak might have done it based on...
Sobczak did it, Ray did it.
So this is going to be interesting because Jones and Ward look like they took 4 tires as we watch this race off of pit road.
Yeah,
but Ward did Patrick Colby stay out?
Patrick Colby stayed out.
Koontz stayed out. Rapp and DeCesare stayed out.
I think that
So Scottie Sobczak is going to be looking like he's going to be the leader off pit road, but he's going to be starting in the 5th position on this restart.
Yeah, we might have missed it on the previous caution. I think that Johnny Rapp has actually already taken one of his sets of tires.
He has.
Yeah, right. He came down pit road earlier on one of the earlier cautions. We missed it. He took 4 tires then, so he's staying out here. That's a pretty good call, I think. Yeah, there's a lot of guys that took 4 tires here. Just looking through the list right now, Rye Jones, Josh Ward, Chris Blassie, Lee Campbell, Tony Caputo, James Suggs, they all took 4 tires. The first 2 guys off of pit road, or first 3 guys off of pit road, Scottie Sobczak, James Ray, and Kenneth Gallman took 2 tires here by the looks of it.
Yeah, so this is going to be interesting. We've got all now these different tire strategies coming into focus here on coming to lap 60 of 150. So we've got all sorts of cars on different age tires, which is going to make this even more dynamic, I would imagine, first couple of laps after this restart. Patrick Colby choosing that outside as the control car on this restart. He goes. Green flag is back out at Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway in the UD Awards Championship race in the Team 53 Late Model Summer Shootout season finale. Koontz in second, Rapp to third. Nick DeCesare looking like he's causing a little bit of a slowdown. James Ray, points leader, is going to slip in underneath him. Jones and Sobczak. Oh, Jones gets a little bit of contact with DeCesare in the 00. Sobczak's going to slide underneath there too. James Ray now looking for third position in that gold car, tracking down those two cars in front of him. Right now, we mentioned it, Ray is on two right side tires.
Yeah.
Two new right side tires.
It's a race to see who can get through the old tires the fastest. If you can get through them fastest, get track position, you're in a really good spot. And James Ray got ahead of Scottie Sobczak there on that start. But Rye Jones is keeping pace with him. Rye Jones is on 4 tires here.
So we're going to see, especially as a few laps roll by, we're probably going to see Rye Jones have a little bit more pace. If I had to guess, I don't know much, but we'll see what Rye Jones is able to produce in terms of lap times in probably 4, 5, 6 laps. But right now, Matt Koontz is looking a little bit loose. I would imagine that's the downside to being on those old tires. You can see him sliding around a little bit more. You mentioned the wheel sawing going on earlier. Probably some more wheel sawing if you were to look at those gloves going on in that 13 car right now. But he did what he had to do. He called that alternate strategy call, and my goodness, I can't blame him given the point situation that he is, basically needing a miracle to win the championship.
Yeah, and he's got really good pace right now. He and Patrick Colby both are maintaining track position. We saw Nick DeCesare slide back a little bit there on the start, but Colby and Koontz are making it work here, and we'll see how this progresses throughout this run, if he's able to hold on to that track position that he's got.
Yeah, and just a lap ago, the top 5 were in about 5/100ths of a second of each other. So, pretty close lap times going on here. First couple laps after this restart. Now on lap 66 of 150. But James Ray, he's getting to the back bumper of that number 9. He's probably not going to want to wait long to take over that lead on these fresher right side tires that he's got going on right now. We watch from from the rear bumper of the 9 car. Patrick Colby, got to be careful. You want to win, you want to lead the race, but you also don't want to cause any issues for the championship favorite and the points leader.
Yeah, definitely. And, James just being smart right here. He's going for a high percentage pass instead of a low percentage pass, which is, we've seen him do that all season, as he's going to look to the inside here.
Yeah, so if you're talking about high percentage passes, low percentage passes, we've seen James Ray, I'm just looking at his incident points over the course of the season. He's at 4 incidents per race, and just 20 incidents overall. It's one of the lowest incident counts of the season. For a short track, late model series, those are pretty good numbers.
Yep.
We've seen him be just consistent. He had one bad race, and in the last race last week at South Boston, he got turned. Still walked away with a decent finish, I believe. I'm just trying to look at my numbers here. Still walked away with a 4th place finish after getting turned on the last lap, last corner. So he's really, even in really difficult situations, he's stayed resilient. So, and that's what's put him at the top of the championship battle right now. It should be no surprise that all of our championship 3 have had some of the strongest statistics this season, whether it's low incident ratings, whether it's qualifying positions. They've been the cream of the crop as we watch Evan Pienta work his way back by Nick DeCesare right now. Pienta on fresh tires, but working his way back from a spin just about 10 or 15 laps ago. Evan Pienta was last week's winner. We saw him be the beneficiary of that crash between Scottie Sobczak and James Ray. Went through to claim the victory in his title race. Driver in Michigan right now. Evan is
we got a spin
in Indiana. Yeah,
Nick DeCesare's around. Go back
so
here.
So 00 goes around.
See if we can see what happened here to Nick. We see he's got Tony Caputo behind him right here. We saw him sliding back. He's on those old tires here. I bet he comes this time. Yep, and Tony Caputo just turns him around. And that's
probably a little bit more speed that 42 was carrying, and it probably didn't anticipate the slowdown in Nick DeCesare with those older 74-lap old tires. The some of the oldest sets on the racetrack right now.
Yeah, and you know sometimes that closing rate could catch you by surprise there, as doesn't take much at all.
It doesn't take much. Rye Jones and Patrick Colby, these two guys are coming down pit road, and Rye Jones, that is an interesting call.
Yeah,
because Rye Jones was on pit road last time.
Yeah, and he took 4, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
so.
I wonder what's going on with that. Fuel should not be an issue tonight.
Yeah, I'm not too
watching
sure.
him in his pit stall right now, seeing
He's taking 4 again. I guess he figures he's got them, might as well use them.
So in theory, though, this would be his last set?
I guess so.
Yeah. Interesting call.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he saw the speed that those other guys had and decided, you know, hey, I want to try to, you know, he's figuring everybody else is coming again. I want to try to maintain track position.
Fair enough. I'm not going to question it. I'm not in one of these cars.
Yeah.
I haven't been running top 5 past several weeks, so
yeah,
I'm
I mean,
trust
like,
him.
I guess he likes what he feels, and you know, a lot of guys. We had some guys take 2 tires before. I'm not 100% sure how 2 tires work on these cars with this setup that Team 53 has provided, but I know, like in the NASCAR vehicles, taking 2 tires just makes you loose. So I'm curious, like, especially, you know, watching everybody sort of slide around as much as they have been tonight. I'd be really curious to hear from those guys that took 2 tires if it made their cars loose.
I'm going to make a note to ask about that in the post-race interviews.
Yeah, and the guys that are, you know, easier on the throttle, especially in the center of the corner, you know, they're probably not burning as much right rear. You know, guys like James Ray, Scottie Sobczak, they might feel good about taking 2 because they know that they can save that right rear.
Yeah, and they've James Ray, we know, has had practice at it after 100 laps in practice. He's going to be your leader. He's going to be your control car. He chooses the outside as the pace truck peels off. Ray's going to bring him back to green on lap 78 of 150. Scottie Sobczak, though, Chris, gets a pretty good start. Yeah, he's going to slide into second. Thought he might make a better run going out into turn number 1 there, but he's going to settle for second. He's not in too big of a rush right now. Johnny Rapp in third behind him. Big battle going on back in the 6th position between Blassie, Koontz, Pienta, Colby, and Gallman right now in the 5th position.
I got my eye on this 15 car tonight. I think this is the best speed I've seen from him. He's way up the track here. Chris Blassie, this is the best long run pace I've seen from him all season on that long run that we had earlier. So, yeah, I'm going to be paying close attention to that 15 car.
Yeah, struggling right now a little bit on this restart, but over the course of the race, he's up 7 positions. So we mentioned he's one of those guys that we've really seen benefit from the Team 53 training videos and these setups and just getting seat time in these late model cars, and we've seen him come a long way consistently now running in the top 10.
We might have had some contact right there between Evan Pienta and Matt Koontz, one of your championship contenders, but they keep it together, and Koontz up the track a little bit here. It looks like he's getting freight trained a little bit. Matt Koontz has still not taken tires. He's the only driver on track who has not taken tires all night.
I think this is a big swing.
I like the strategy. I like the call. He knows that he has got to do something radically different if he wants to have a shot here, and I like it. Let's see if it pays off for him.
I think it is a good call. And, hey, right now, Scottie Sobczak not letting James Ray ride off into the sunset right now. Just about 2/10, about a car length and a half separate first and second as they head down the backstretch here at Nashville Fairgrounds. Those are your first and second points standings runners. I put that a weird way, but those are first and second of the points. Right now, watching from the rear view camera of James Ray, Scottie Sobczak, that bright blue and white auto parts car, not letting that 01 get away. You know, we've seen last week, we saw the incident between them coming off of 4. Based on what we've heard, that's all water under the bridge, and these two guys are going to race each other with respect. They've done so all night long, and if you're Scott Sobczak, I don't think there's any benefit to being rough with the points leader, because you know that something more than him just losing a spot or 2 is what it's going to take for you to win the championship. So there's not much of a gain like there might have been last week, you know?
Yeah, definitely. I think that they're not thinking about that right now. And one thing I want to mention, just if we watch from the rear bumper of James Ray, you see how much harder Scottie Sobczak is charging corner entry. He's got a little bit more of a shallow entry to the corner, and because of that, he gains a lot of ground on Ray, but he kind of gives it up on corner exit. Right here, he's changed his line a little bit. He's running a little bit higher on entry, trying to get the run down on corner exit. I'll be curious to see over the course of the run right here how he maybe changes that, or how the the tire wear changes like over the course of the run. Like if one strategy sort of pays off, before another one does. But yeah, Ray running pretty high up on the track. Got a really, really late entry to the corner there, and he obviously knows what he's doing, and has been able to, have the best long run pace of anybody probably tonight.
Oh, James Suggs loose on the front stretch. He might stay out of the wall, but I would imagine it's going to bring out a caution.
Wow.
No caution yet. He gets it going. The 20 gets it going after a turn, a lazy spin off of turn 4. We are green. I think he's got a little bit of damage to that left front, or maybe that might have actually been there before.
He fought it for a long time. He kept it
out of the wall. That was impressive.
Yep. Yeah, that was nicely done, and we stay green.
Yeah, and up at the front, James Ray facing a charge from Scottie Sobczak here. Scottie Sobczak was pretty much couldn't stick a sheet of paper between the back bumper of Ray and the front bumper of that 81 there down into turn number 1 last time by. So, but hey, there's a battle going on for third position too. Rye Jones, we mentioned, on fresher tires, 16-lap-old tires, going underneath the 92 of Josh Ward here. We mentioned that kind of interesting strategy call, Chris, but right now, Rye Jones proving us wrong because he is running some of the fastest lap times on the track.
So, yeah, he's hoping it goes green. He hopes it goes green for a long time here. And, I just think that he's going to play the track position game for the rest of the night tonight.
Track position is king. It's going to be king for Jones. It's going to be king for a lot of different guys out there right tonight. I'm looking back through the field. Kenneth Gallman, I know we've got some 71 fans in the chat right now. Kenneth doing a pretty good job. He's in 8th. He started 6th, so he's down a couple positions. Going to battle right now with Matt Koontz. And we mentioned the discrepancy, the difference between tire age. Gallman on much newer tires than Koontz on his lap 94 lap old tires. Gallman giving it the old college try right now on the outside, though. That outside has not been as fruitful right now as we saw it earlier in the race, though. Feels like I've seen it slow down. It doesn't seem to be as impactful as it was earlier.
Yeah, I think that everybody feels that it's impossible to go higher on somebody to make the pass. You might be able to run like a lane up to have the optimal line for, speed, for lap time, but you can't go any higher than what that line is. And so if somebody's protecting that line, the only way that you can get by them is if you go low on them and just, try to make your center of the corner speed as high as you can. As 15 of Blassie tags the wall there on corner exit, but he keeps on going.
Yeah, Gallman struggling, got rooted up kind of into that third lane and just hasn't been able to hold off that train of cars that was right behind him. But I'm sure what we've seen from Gallman, he will be up, working his way back up through the field before too long, I would imagine. Looking our way through the rest of the field. Battle for the lead stayed about the same, about 3 car lengths between James Ray and Scottie Sobczak, the top 2. Rye Jones solidly in 3rd. Josh Ward solidly in 4th. Patrick Colby up 3 positions now from the start of the race in 5th position. Hey, Evan Pienta, we saw him drop all the way back from that early caution.
Oh, he tagged the wall.
The 6th position as he tags the wall. We caught him right when he tagged it.
You jinxed him.
That seemed to have that effect on many drivers this season. So, Johnny Rapp in 7th position. And a quick word about Evan. He's one of our partners with Evan Pienta Designs. That race logo you see on the bottom right of the screen, the UD Awards Championship Week logo, that was his design. He does the designs for each one of our race logos. He also does the designs for a lot of the cars you've seen on the track tonight, including his own. Also, I saw that 20 going around earlier, the Woo Woo Garage car driven by James Suggs. I know that's a work of Evan Pienta as well. So, if you like what you see with any of that, you can get in touch with him on his Instagram, Evan Pienta Designs. You can find him on social media.
Yeah,
so
he
great run
also
going.
He also designed the Apex Energy Ford and the Sim Racing Concepts Ford that you see on track tomorrow night.
That is true. And the series finale for the Apex Energy Throwback Series, where we've got a 4-way battle. You thought this championship battle was exciting. Just wait till tomorrow night, where the championship 4 are separated by about 12 points. So 4 drivers can walk out of the room tomorrow night with the title. So that's going to be an exciting race to watch. But right now, just 47 laps left in this championship evening. James Ray's your leader. Scottie Sobczak second. Looking for other battles on the track right now. Chris Blassie and Nick DeCesare had a little tango going there for a minute into turn 1. Now they head down the backstretch. DeCesare, I'm looking at their tires. They're actually, Blassie's got newer tires. So
yeah, slightly newer. And this tire situation tonight has got me really, really perplexed a little bit curious. Matt Koontz hasn't taken tires all night, but I feel like his pace is still really, really good.
That's what we've noticed is the unpredictability of tire wear and what's going to work. Honestly, more often than not, I feel like I've seen right sides work almost effectively as all 4.
Yeah, I think that if you keep the right rear underneath you tonight, and don't, mash the gas. Oh, as Nick DeCesare makes an awesome save there off of turn 4.
Wow, good catch.
As long as you don't make the right rear too angry too many times, I think that you're going to be okay. And I think that maybe is why, Matt Koontz has had, as good a pace as he's had tonight. But if you're Matt, man, you got to start having cautions. Got to have caution so you can bolt those tires on.
Well, they're going to have about 42 laps for opportunities to have cautions. I wouldn't be surprised if we had one at that point. Hey, Chase Berry's giving us a hard time in the chat right now. He says, someone say tire strategies. Hey, it's a talking point. You of all people, Chase, should know about tire strategies. Chase, one of our slingshot drivers who is known for saving those tires and usually picking up a win in the end by taking fresh tires. So Chase knows all about that tire strategy. We appreciate you watching, Chase. We're looking forward to racing with you hopefully tomorrow night and next season. We got Monkey81, who is a Scott Sobczak fan, watching in the chat right now. I know they will be glad to see that Scott is in second place, keeping track with the leader, James Ray. So shout out to all the folks in the chat right now. If you're watching but you haven't said hey, feel free just to pop a little hi in the chat. Doesn't do any harm, helps us, and we'll shout out right back at you. So appreciate all y'all watching.
Yeah, got a nice little battle for third going on right now between Rye Jones and Patrick Colby. And Patrick Colby, it looks like he's got really good roll speed right in the center of the corner here and pulling right up on the back bumper of Rye Jones. Don't know if Rye is maybe saving a little bit right here, banking on that caution. But, Patrick Colby is looking like he's got some pretty good pace right now.
Yeah, they're on I believe they're on the same stint of tires, about 38 laps apiece. So they're pretty much equal parts right now. This 9 and the 91 putting on a good show right now for the third position. Working our way further through the field, seeing what action we got going on. Looks like Blassie and Kenneth Gallman back in 9th and 10th. Pretty close. Everyone's minding their P's and Q's right now. Obviously we've seen cautions come out from just single car spins, but those opportunities for cautions are not abundant right now, just based on what I'm seeing around the track. Johnny Rapp watching in the 7th position, a little bit loose off the corner. We see Johnny on the oldest, actually not the oldest, but one of the oldest sets of tires on the track. Definitely losing the rear end of that car on corner exit. A little bit loose, bringing Matt Koontz, Chris Blassie, and Kenneth Gallman up to him. This is the closest battle on the track right now. Blassie tries to make a pass on the 13 of Koontz, but we've seen, that's a hard pass, Chris, as you mentioned earlier in the race, to pull off on the inside. We've seen the 81 rolling pretty
Johnny
good.
Rapp, several cars hit the wall.
Yeah, Blassie followed Johnny Rapp right into the wall as we were covering that. And just as from a driver perspective, someone watching might not understand how that happens, and I don't even know if I could explain the science behind it. But how many times have you been behind someone who runs in the wall and you follow them right in there?
Man, we had 3 drivers hit the wall right there. Johnny Rapp, Chris Blassie, and Nick DeCesare. I've done it so many times, especially if you're following really close behind somebody. It's really, really easy to do. So, because you just kind of get in the zone, you kind of get in the groove, and man, I think Johnny Rapp's car might be hurt pretty good. It hit really hard.
He's dropping. I'm looking at lap times.
He's trying to get out of the way.
He's really loose off the corner, yeah.
And I think that Johnny is. I think that car has.
Johnny has seen enough.
Yeah, seen better days. So
the 52 is going to pull it down the apron into the garage. Going to stay out of trouble. Just about 30 laps left in the Team 53 Summer Shootout Late Model Series. This is the season finale as we watch our championship battle kind of play out. James Ray is scored as your leader. Scottie Sobczak, who is second in points, right behind him. And if you're Scott, you need something to happen to the 01. I know their teammates doesn't want anything to happen to him, but man, Chris, this is, just kind of give a little bit of context here to the story. Battle for third position. Let's take a look at that real quick because that is heating up. Colby in 91 going at it.
I saw some blocking going on down the front stretch right there, and
Ry Jones blocking? No.
Well, I don't know if he was blocking or if he was maybe reacting to. I'm not sure what that was, but
I've been loosed.
Yeah, it's a tight battle right here.
It is a very tight battle. Thought Patrick Colby was going to have the inside.
Yeah, Patrick Colby is. It's got really good speed right now, and if we go green to the end. I wonder if these guys can chase down our leaders because they are on fresher tires and on 4 tires.
And I'm looking at lap times right now, and that time by Jones is about 0.2 of a second faster than Ray and Sobczak. And we're going to see them in the picture right now as you watch them head down into turn 3. That blue and white 81 and the 01 as the leader, they're coming into sight. So these guys, good catch. They are catching them. Chris.
Oh, man, Patrick Colby almost got in the left rear of Ry Jones there coming off of turn 2. Yeah, they're gaining on these guys. And, if you're Scottie Sobczak and James Ray, and these guys get up in the mix, if you're Scottie Sobczak, you got to keep on driving hard. But if you're James Ray, I think that you got to think about the bigger picture, in any type of close action.
So that's another thing to consider is with 2 more cars as we watch Patrick Colby poking nose down into 1 as 2 more cars enter the fray. That's 2 more cars to potentially have contact with, right? So if you're Ray, like you mentioned, you got to be aware of the big picture here. You don't have to win the race. Sure, you want to win the race and win the championship in the same night, but it's not a must. As we watch Ry Jones now, going to poke a nose under the 81, looking to go inside. And if you're Scott Sobczak, you're probably going to fight that pretty hard on the outside, knowing your situation. You can't afford to give up any positions.
Oh,
we see
man.
Ry Jones.
He drove it in hard. He drove it in hard that time. Ry Jones is doing a great job before of giving Patrick Colby just enough room to poke his nose, but not enough room to complete the passes. Both those guys get around Scottie Sobczak, and man.
This is going to be a great finish with just, Chris, 20 laps to go here in the UD Awards Championship race. Patrick Colby now ducking a nose. There goes Jones. On the inside of the leader, James Ray, that's your points leader. He's going to drop back 2 positions. They're going to defer to these cars on fresher tires, but here we go. Scottie Sobczak sees that door open. He's going to see if he can make a move on 3rd. Not going to happen that time. Evan Pienta and Josh Ward slowly creeping into the picture as well. But right now, this is all about the battle for the win, all about the battle for the lead. 19 to go here. Jones and Colby, bumper to bumper, both on similar tire strategies. And this could get crazy, Chris. This is a pressure cooker we're watching here.
It definitely is, and what you saw was James Ray just being smart. He could have probably fought that a lot harder as Colby is going to make a move to the inside. Oh, we got a caution.
Caution is out before Patrick Colby could make that. That is your 3rd place in points. It looks like Matt Koontz.
Let's go back and see if we can find out what happened. Oh, yeah, he was up a little bit, and he just overcorrected and tagged the wall right there on the exit of 4. We'll go back again here and see if we can get another look. We'll try to ride on board with him here. Oh, he was just fighting it. He's fighting it all the way through the corner. We'll go back a little bit further here and sort of see how this started. I was wondering if there's no contact. It was just that right rear giving up.
So, Chris, that caution was really bad news for those top 2 guys, though, because right now it's going to bring James Ray and the whole crew behind him down to get fresh tires. So, Rye Jones, Patrick Colby, they were hoping for a green flag finish. They were hoping for a green flag run towards the checkers, but what they're going to have instead is probably about 15 laps rather, to hold off cars on fresh tires. Now, we've mentioned they're on about 60-lap-old tires. We're going to see if these guys are going to get right sides or not. Based on the speed that I'm seeing them get their tires, they are both getting right side tire sets. Ray and Sobczak took actually 4 sets of tires based on the pit road speeds I am seeing on my screen.
Yeah.
So you're going to have fresh tires on all 4 sides versus about 60-lap-old tires.
Do we
How
know...
difficult? You got to buffer. You got to buffer with Gallman and Pienta and Ward.
I want to say... Yeah, so on this caution right here, Josh Ward, James Ray, we kind of missed it before, but both of those guys have 2 tires. Well, Josh Ward and Evan Pienta and Josh Ward, the guys restarting 4th and 5th here, will be on 2 right side tires. Yeah, James Ray is looks like he's gonna restart 6th with 4 tires. Scottie Sobczak restarting 7th on 4 tires as well, and everybody else behind them. Yeah, I mean, that's a long ways to go in the amount of time that we have left. If I'm James Ray, I think that I like where I'm starting because I feel like Rye Jones is probably going to take the top. So I think the top is going to roll better here on the start. Man, if I'm Scottie Sobczak, I'm a little bit disappointed here because I'm probably going to restart on the bottom. And restarting on the bottom is probably not going to roll as good.
And this is just a precarious situation overall, right? Because if you're James Ray, you're the points leader, you're back in 6th position. You're going to see some really hard racing between these guys, these 5 guys in front of you, and that's going to create the opportunity for a log jam. It's going to create the opportunity for chaos, a potential wreck. So if you're James Ray, you got to be on guard, right? If you're Sobczak, you're almost maybe hoping something happens potentially. If you're really concerned about the championship, as we see these drivers square up and go 2 by 2, getting ready for the restart here. This restart's going to come with about 13 laps to go, and all eyes are going to be on Rye Jones, the leader. No longer do they have the advantage with those fresher tires. That advantage goes to Ray, Ward, Blassie, and Sobczak, who are back starting in 6th position. So here we go, Chris. Pace car is going to peel off. 13 laps left. Jones gets the jump. Patrick Colby not far off, headed down the front stretch at Nashville Fairgrounds. Evan Pienta 3rd. James Ray looking like he's going to do pretty good. Going to slide up into the 4th position, Chris. Got about 12 laps left if he's going to translate those 4 fresh tires into a victory here. Evan Pienta going to throw the block on Ray, though, headed down into 3.
Yeah, if you're Ray, you got to be smart here. I know that you have fresh tires, 4 tires, but, think about the bigger picture.
Colby,
contact!
Jones, Colby is loose. Colby hangs on to it. Evan Pienta has to get on the brakes. He's going to take over 2nd. This is likely going to open the door for James Ray, maybe. But these two... Evan Pienta, Patrick Colby. Evan Pienta gets the front stretch wall a little bit. Now Ray goes to the inside. I told you this is going to be crazy racing, that Ray would have to thread his way through with just about 10.5 laps left in the title race, the season finale of the Team 53 Late Model Summer Shootout. Jones is your leader. He's got Patrick Colby by about 5 car lengths. James Ray makes the pass on Evan Pienta. We're talking about James Ray for 2 reasons. He's your points leader, and he's got the freshest tires on the track, and he's trying to chase down the 91 in the 9. But time is running out, Chris, with just about 9 laps left in this race. But Patrick Colby says, no, I've got all the time in the world.
Colby has regrouped right now, and he's got, he's got a really good turn right there. He's to the inside of Jones.
looks to complete the pass on the inside, headed down in turn 3. Out of 4, cars are neck and neck. They'll cross the line. Patrick Colby will be scored with the lead at the line with just about 9 laps, now 8 laps left to go.
Oh, he took his line away.
Colby.
He ran him up a little bit right there in the center of 1 and 2, took his line away. That was a great pass by Patrick Colby.
Evan Pienta in second. Ray now to the outside, but Josh Ward to the inside. They're going to go 3 wide, down into 1 with the points leader at the very top, James Ray. Looking to see if he can make it stick, but that's dangerous territory.
Oh, no!
Ray's in a crash. Sobczak's in a crash. Ray, how much damage does he have? Caution is out on lap 144.
The right front is damaged bad on James Ray's car.
Wow. So, quick turn of events here in the season finale of Slingshot Racing's Team 53 Summer Shootout Late Model Series. Your points leader, James Ray, in a lap 144 collision. Lap 144 pileup that saw one car, still not sure which one it was,
Josh Ward,
get on its roof.
Josh Ward.
Scottie Sobczak was the car that turned it over.
Man, they were just 3 wide on the exit of the corner right here, and the 91 and the 92 get together, and man, James Ray did everything right. He gave room up on the top there, and man, 3 wide is just so hard here.
Yeah, as soon as I saw him going 3 wide, I clinched up a little bit, and we can see James Ray riding around there with sparks coming out of that car. This is likely, I'm not going to say it's going to be the end of his night, because he's going to do what he can to get the car back out there, but right now, I know Jones, I'm not sure how much damage is on that 91. He was in the middle of that altercation. Scott Sobczak up to 3rd.
As we watch from on board, Josh Ward taking a wild ride here down the backstretch at Nashville. Don't see too many cars turning over in the fairgrounds.
No, you don't. And what this does is neither one of us, Chris, are mathematicians, and I don't have a live point scoring for you here. But what I can tell you is this opens the door. It opens the door for Scottie Sobczak, especially if he can get a win here.
I think that if James can get rolling here, and I don't know if he is because I don't see him in the car. I don't know. It's probably going to be a long repair here. Yeah, like I said, I don't want to speculate about the point situation. The good news right now is that there are 2 cars that I know will not pass James Ray. So the worst
he can finish is 13th.
13th, yeah. So that might be, his only saving grace here is that, the worst he can finish is 13th. And that might be enough, because I think that I don't know who has led the most laps tonight. I don't have that information available. If he has the bonus point for leading the most laps, that's another one off the table. Looking at the fastest lap times right now as well, because that's another bonus point. I think he has that one. He has the fastest lap tonight by 2 1,000ths of a second over Scottie Sobczak. So this is going to come down to those bonus points.
And man, you just feel bad for Scottie Sobczak, because just a little bit of history and context. Scottie lost the Season 3 Cup Series championship by just a few points. And we're looking like this might be setting up for a familiar refrain here. But right now, all eyes outside of that title fight are going to be on the battle for the lead, Chris. This is going to be a green-white checkered between Patrick Colby, Ry Jones, Evan Pienta, and the aforementioned Scottie Sobczak. Don't count out Gallman. Chris Blassie having a pretty good run here in 6th. Pace truck peels off for hopefully the final time tonight. Patrick Colby going to get the jump. He's going to take the green. 2 laps to go in the Team 53 Late Model Summer Shootout Series. Jones inside line in turn 2. Evan Pienta and Scottie Sobczak.
Oh, no.
Sobczak, Rex Pienta, Blassie, Rex Sobczak. We're going to have another green-white checkered.
Oh, man. Talk about the trials and the tribulations of this championship battle.
Scottie Sobczak, gotta hate this for him right now. I know we've got at least one Scottie Sobczak fan in the chat. Sobczak just trying to do what he can to get into 3rd.
That was
gets the back bumper of the 55.
Yeah, that was not on Scottie. That one was not on him. He held the bottom. You can watch him on the yellow line right here. And Evan was almost clear of Scottie. He was so close to being clear of him. And, he's just running that line to try to get that good launch up off the corner. And, they came together there.
So I don't think we're going to see any more tire strategy at this point. Pretty much right now, you got what you got. The freshest tires, Chris, Chris Blassie has 18-lap-old tires. Lee Campbell in 5th position. Blassie in 4th, Lee Campbell in 5th. We're going to see how racy they can get, but I don't think they're going to have enough time to get to the front, even with those incredibly fresher tires.
I think Chris Blassie's looking at a great night, though, because if Patrick Colby takes the top here, it's going to put him right behind Patrick Colby. And we've seen all night that the top lane is the lane that has moved all night. So, if Chris can get a good launch here, he's looking at a slingshot career night.
Yeah, this is we mentioned him just getting better and better, along with the guy running behind him, Lee Campbell. But Chris Blassie and Lee Campbell, great nights going. Kenneth Gallman, we don't want to forget him. He's got a great night going. I don't think he's had a top 3 finish all season long, but he's running in 3rd right now. What you've seen a lot of these late race crashes allow is some of these guys who aren't usually running in the top 5 to slide up in there, Chris. And it's great to see. I know these guys are having a good time out there tonight. I know we've got some Gallman fans in the chat. They'll be proud to see him running in 3rd position. Tony Caputo, after starting 14th, up 8 positions into the 6th slot. Nick DeCesare in 7th. Even Matt Koontz has kind of clawed his way back into the 8th position, Chris. So Koontz looking like he might be interested in taking over 2nd if he has anything to say about it here in the point standings.
Yeah, the battle for 2nd in points is really tight. It's only 2 points between Sobczak and Koontz. And in fact, we'll pull it up here so you can see. We looked at them earlier, just so everybody can get a lay of the land right now. This is the points coming into tonight. These are not current points, but this is the situation with Ray being in the pits right now. He's currently sitting 12th. I don't think that it looks like Josh Ward is not going to pass him. So 12th is looking like it's going to be his finishing position tonight. But Matt Koontz has a chance for 2nd in points here.
Yeah, pace truck going down the backstretch right now, getting ready for another. This will be the final green-white checkered of the evening. We have 2. Next flag will end the race once they take the green. Rye Jones, Patrick Colby. Colby, the control car, looking to get a jump on the restart. Jones doesn't want to let him have it, though. Gets a pretty good jump, but Jones does not go away. He's got a nose. Actually, Colby got a little bit better restart than I thought, but Blassie going up there high, Chris. Looking to see if he can make the pass for a podium position 3rd off that corner. Patrick Colby is in control right now with just about 1 lap left in the season finale of Slingshot Racing's Team 53 Summer Shootout. Colby, one of those cars we mentioned, has not gotten a win this season, but has run incredibly strong. He is coasting his way down the backstretch. Jones in 2nd, Gallman in 3rd, Blassie in 4th. Patrick Colby is going to bring it out of turn 4. He's going to win the season finale of the Team 53 Late Model Summer Shootout. Jones 2nd, Gallman 3rd, Blassie 4th. Tony Caputo with a top 5. Lee Campbell finishes 6th. Scottie Sobczak going to finish 7th. James Ray, your points leader, finishes 12th. And we're going to do some quick math here. See if we can get some live points updated here in the next couple of minutes so we can declare a championship winner here on air, Chris. But not as much excitement as I thought I would see on that final restart because Patrick Colby was so dominant on it, but great race overall.
Yeah,
a lot of drama there at the end.
Yeah, Rye tried to, I think he tried to anticipate it right there, and Patrick waited a little bit longer than what he had been waiting on the previous restart. So, great job by him. Great job by all these guys to run a clean last few laps. And our top 3, Patrick Colby, Rye Jones, Kenneth Gallman, we'll hear from all of them here in just a little bit.
Let's see if we can get... I'm not sure if Kenneth Gallman is in the Discord right now, so we might have to take a pass on him for a minute. Maybe he'll make his way in But we'll go ahead and pick up Rye Jones in the comms channel and grab a word with our second place finisher, Rye Jones. Hey, Rye Jones, this is Ellis and Chris up in the Slingshot booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, man.
Well, I know you didn't get the result that you would have wanted tonight, but you still had a great run. I think you had really good runs the final 3 out of 4 races of the season after kind of a difficult start. Great race. Congratulations on second place. I know that'll move you up in points a little bit. Talk to us a little bit about the final 25 laps or so. I know there must have been some heartache probably when that caution fell with about 17 or 18 to go when you and Patrick Colby were running up in front and maybe thought your evening was over, at least with a shot for the win. But walk us through the final chaos of those 20 laps.
Yeah, it was hell.
It seemed like it.
But I'll tell you what, man, the last, I'd say 75 laps alone, if that's not some of the funnest racing I've ever done on here, I mean, that was an absolute blast. I went out on a whim. I pitted with, James and Scott, and we ran our way through the field, and we had like an 18, 20 lap run. And I'm like, you know what? I like to gamble because I wasn't faster than them on a long run. But I'm gonna take my last set of tires and just see what happens. And so I did. And ran through the field pretty quickly, but I used him up quicker than Patrick, and he was catching me. And so we were catching the leaders at the same time, but he was catching me, and he was trying to pass me. So I'm like looking in the mirror, but at the same time we're catching the leaders, and it just like all hell was breaking loose on that. And I was like, man, if this thing goes all the way to the green, this will be nuts. And I think Patrick still would have got me had he gotten around me, just because he took better care of his tires. And the caution came out, and I was honestly, I don't know, I was relieved because I could take a breath, breathe a little. But at the same time, I'm like, well, this is gonna make things a freaking nightmare now because everybody that has a set of tires is gonna take it. And sure enough, they did. And going on that last restart, I knew they were coming, and so I just jumped as early as I could, since we can. There's no ground rules on that, and got as far ahead as I could, and Patrick immediately caught me right away. So, kudos to him for saving his tires better than me. And then all the people with the fresh tires started coming, and Josh made it 3 wide, and I had nowhere to go. I was stuck in the middle, so I just held my ground, and he came up a little bit and turned right and took out James, and I somehow went underneath him. And after that, the right front was destroyed. I could feel it. It didn't drive the same at all. So I was glad it was going to be like a green-white checker, because that was my only chance for a good finish. And that's ended up what happening. I have nothing to complain about. Patrick deserves that, definitely, and he's been due a win for a while, and I'm just happy. It was a lot of fun.
Well, man, it did look like fun. We appreciate you walking us through the final laps there. You got any shout-outs to give before we let you go celebrate that second place finish?
Well, you guys for putting on a great season. I'm really, 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 really excited for the Xfinity Series. That is my favorite car by far, and it's tough to drive. And I think that's going to put on a great show and just a lot of great racing. And I think it's going to fill up pretty well. So I'm really looking forward to it. And so I thank you guys for that. I thank Johnny and Evan for being here, and Mr. Tony Caputo. Don't really know him that well, but he's getting a little better every day. He's a real life racer, so he has us beat there, but he's getting better on the sim a little bit too. So thank everybody with letting me run the payday sticker, and yeah, you guys for putting on a great show.
All right, buddy. Have a good night.
All right, you too.
Thanks. All right, so you heard from Rye Jones, your second place finisher. Now we're going to bring in, I know, one that fans are probably looking forward to. I know we've got some Gallman fans in the chat. We're going to bring in Kenneth Gallman, our third place finisher. And Chris, I'll let you handle this one.
Kenneth Gallman. Kenneth Gallman. Oh, he's not in here. Oh, there he is. Kenneth Gallman, driver of the number 71. This is Slingshot Booth. You got a copy?
Got a copy, fellas.
Man, what a night. We saw you all night. We saw you battling with a lot of guys back there around 6th, 7th, 8th for a lot of the night. It looked like it was some hard driving out there. It looked like there was a lot of swatting flies in a lot of the cars. Talk us through your night as you brought home a great finish in third tonight.
It's been it was a fun race. I put a lot of laps into this track between official races and practice races. My spotter Michael Menchaca, he kept me out of trouble. The last 2 races I haven't done my signature spin early on in the race and having to come up through the field. So looks like it was just a lot of work. It felt like a rocket ship out there. It's smooth.
Yeah, absolutely. And Ellis and I were talking about you earlier. You got a lot of fans that tune in to watch you each and every week, and they were cheering you on tonight. And talk to us a little bit about the tire situation, about when you decided to take yours. Looking at the stint numbers right here at the end of the race, you were by far on the oldest set of tires. Was it a little bit difficult there those last few laps?
No. My tire, my right front was at 60. My right rear was at 66. It's just from practicing before we got the video. I practiced the line I always run, and that was the bottom line. And everyone knows you get pretty loose there. So I had good practice with a loose car for quite a while. And then the video came out from Team 53, thanks to those guys, showing the optimum line for this race. So it was great, and shout out to everyone that watches, my dad, my wife, my son, my cousin. So it's good stuff.
Yeah,
Hey,
man.
what are we gonna have to do to get you in one of these Xfinity cars?
What do you got to do? You ain't got to twist my arm. I'll get in it.
You know where to find us.
Awesome.
Yes, sir. I'd like to thank all the sponsors and you guys for putting on a great production. I rewatch it and I use it kind of like game film, but you guys do a great job. Team 53 did the paint job for this car. My son named it Vader, so he's a huge dark side fan of the Star Wars. Apex Energy, I think, and everything was great this series. This was my first ever league I've ever been a part of. So it's great.
We're glad that you're a part of it. We've enjoyed having you, and man, we hope that you stick around and run more with us. That's Kenneth Gallman, driver of the number 71, your third place finisher tonight. Kenneth, congratulations, man.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. All right, so that was Kenneth Gallman, the 71, our third place finisher. Now we're going to bring in our winner, Patrick Colby. And Chris, I wanted to give you a heads up in the chat for the broadcast. I did put the live points finishing positions that we might see if we can work in if you get a chance.
Okay.
All right, so we'll bring in Patrick Colby, our winner. Patrick Colby, this is Ellis and Chris up in the Slingshot booth. You got a copy, sir.
I got you guys.
Hey, man, congratulations. You were on my radar from the beginning when I was going through the notes for tonight, looking at the statistics and the standings and all that. I said, man, Patrick Colby has had a good season, but he doesn't have a win. He's going to be one of the guys that I'm keeping my eye on tonight. And, man, you gave me fits throughout the race, up and down and up and down. I thought you were done with 18 laps to go when that caution came out. But that proved not to be the truth. So work us through just one question Chris and I were curious about was the 2-tire strategy. How much did those 2 tires impact handling? Was it enough to kind of force your hand to take 4? Is that what did it for you?
I only took 2 at lap 75. I never took 4.
You never took 4. Okay.
Nope. I stuck with the 2 at 75, and that was the only tires I took. For me, it was more of a balance thing. The speed was kind of the same whether you took 2 or 4, and I turned my fastest laps there at the very end, 100 or 75 laps on the tires. It just made it a little bit more balanced where it wasn't as loose off the corner, so I could be way more aggressive with the throttle, which enabled me to get inside ride.
That was some really close racing between y'all it felt like an eternity. We could not turn the camera off of it because y'all were just going back and forth and back and forth. Pretty aggressive maneuvers, but late in the race, kind of all bets are off, and you were doing what you had to win. You were going for the win. So did it feel like chaos picked up there the final 15 laps?
I don't know if it was so much chaos. I mean, I did look in my rearview mirror and see that the field kind of disappeared there before the first green white checker.
That's a good feeling, though.
Yeah, it was great. I was like, oh, wow. And then a lot of people had damage. I don't know how much that affected Rye and them at the end. I feel like they kind of, I mean, I got that jump by 7/10, and that was kind of all she wrote on that one. But, I mean, I just wasn't in it for once, so they can be as chaotic as they want behind me.
Hey, that's my attitude as well. Well, hey, congratulations on the win, man. We're super proud. Glad you got one under your belt this season before it ended. You got any shout-outs to give before we let you go tonight?
Obviously, my future wife, like I do every time I come up here, because she's supportive in all this nonsense that I do and cheering me on from right next to me. So she's great. You guys putting this on, this has been a blast. These mini series, I can't wait to get going for our next one. You guys are awesome, and to my two teammates, they've been great all season long, and I feel like we've all kind of leaned off of each other, and to get all three of us in victory lane, and maybe even all top three in points. We'll see.
Awesome. Well, congratulations, man. Go and celebrate that victory. And we're going to talk to your teammate, James, right here, and talk to him about his championship.
Definitely. Thanks, guys.
See ya. All right. So you heard from Patrick Colby, the winner of tonight's race. Now we're going to jump to our champion. We can announce, based on live points, that James Ray is your champion. Wasn't as close as we thought it might be with about 10 laps left to go. He wins by 10 or 18 points rather. But James Ray is your 2023 Season 4 late model summer shootout by Team 53 and Slingshot Racing champion. James Ray, congratulations. This is Slingshot Booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir, I do.
Well, man, we felt like you had it most of the night, but then with about 30 laps to go, things started changing a little bit. Particularly, I think that big wreck that involved you was with about 20-25 to go. Let's start there. We talked to you in pre-race about kind of the conservative approach you're going to be taking, but you found yourself back in traffic there. What ended up kind of being the cause of that incident that we saw you get caught up in?
I had them 4 fresh tires, and I don't know, it stuck up there, and I thought gave plenty of room, and I think I did. I think they just connected down there, and I was just there. I caught the blunt of the shot.
Kind of no man's land, right?
Yeah, but I mean, I was that close. I couldn't just, ride it out. And I seen that Scottie was back behind me, so I knew he started on the bottom. So I was like, if I can get around these guys and put some more cars between me, I can at least, just not ride around and make a show of it.
Yeah, there was a moment, I think, before Scottie wrecked there near the very end of the race that it was a very close points race, probably separated by 4 or 5 points.
So we were talking. I was like, I think I got bonus points on most laps led. We were trying to figure it out in our head.
I'm so glad that y'all have that kind of camaraderie in the chat. You're racing for a championship against each other, but it's all just great attitudes throughout. So we appreciate that. Talk to us a little bit about this season as a whole. Like, what do you feel like were the keys to your success that got you to this point?
Well, besides that one bad race, it was mainly being consistent. Just being there at the end and trying, because you're going to have those late cautions, and try to be up front whenever those happen there towards the end.
Chris, were you going to say something? Yep. Okay. So, you stayed out of trouble. We were looking at incident counts and stuff over the course of the season through the stats, and you had some of the lowest numbers. I'm just looking at your incidents per race. You were at 4. And that was probably mostly from that race that you had really had some issues with, and ended up getting a bad finish. But man, congratulations! We are thrilled that you took the championship in this series. You're new to Slingshot Racing. We'd like to do whatever we could do to get you to race that Xfinity season. Don't know if you're thinking about that. Don't want to put you on the spot, but there's always a spot in there for the champion. So we'd love to see you follow it up, see what you could do on the big ovals.
I'm game for it. I'm going to be signing up. So.
That's awesome. That's good to hear. We got some stout competition, but I know you'll have something for them too. So, man, we'll be sending that nice wood, I think it's made out of oak, trophy to you here probably sometime by the end of this week. And hopefully you have a nice spot cleared out for that UD Awards Championship trophy on your bookcase or mantle.
Yes, sir, I do.
Awesome. Well, James Ray, congratulations on winning the Team 53 Late Model Summer Shootout Series from Slingshot Racing. Go and celebrate. Any shout-outs before we let you go, though?
I'll shout you guys out and all the sponsors that back us over here at this league. And then I just want to give a shout out to Chris Watkins that does all these paints. He kind of threw this on tonight. So I was trying to do pretty good with that goal and put it in victory lane, but hey, we'll take it. The big picture overall.
That was a pretty awesome paint scheme. We noticed it. I didn't know you could bling out a race car like that, but you pulled it off tonight. So.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it. He does all my work for me, and I always want to race his stuff and try to keep it up front, keep it on the camera if I can. Just not the way I did tonight.
Hey, it happens. You're still a champion. Have a good night, James Ray.
Thank you, guys.
Congratulations.
Thanks, Chris.
All right, Chris. So we've talked to the champion. We talked to the top finishers. Great evening of racing. It delivered this series, man. I didn't know what to expect headed into it, but it delivered so much excitement, more than I could have anticipated. We had our closest finish in slingshot racing history, with Matt Koontz edging out Rye Jones by 0.002 or 2/1000ths of a second. We made the iRacing social media with that finish. We've had, I believe, 5 different winners this season, including Patrick Colby tonight. I don't think we've seen that much disparity and parity in our fields ever. So, Team 53, we saw drivers like Chris Blassie and Lee Campbell, who traditionally aren't top 7, 8, 9 drivers, running in the top 4, top 5, top 6 as the season went on, thanks to the help from Team 53. All of our partners have made this such a successful season, whether it's Sim Racing Concepts, Sim Racing Tech, who both make great sim racing accessories. You can find the links in the video description. It's been a great season. What are your takeaways?
Man, the thing that stands out to me is, the things that you mentioned before about the parity, so many different winners this season. But I loved what I heard from Kenneth Gallman tonight in the interview. He'd been practicing this week, and when the Team 53 setup and video came out, tutorial, he quickly figured out, what he needed to do to have that third place speed tonight. And that's what this series is all about. That's what we envisioned. That's what we wanted, before the season began. And, man, I think it has just hit perfect all season. We've had close finishes. We've had some tempers flare. But we've had a lot of respect on the track all year long, and had a great championship battle up until the very end tonight. And, congratulations to James Ray on the championship. Congratulations to Patrick Colby on the win tonight at the Fairgrounds. And, man, what a great season.
It was an absolutely amazing season. All of our partners made it possible. So special shout out to Apex Energy. We mentioned UD Awards providing the championship trophy. You can see images of that on our social media. Sim Racing Concepts, Sim Racing Tech, they both helped us give away button boxes and LED indicator light sets to our drivers. This season, Evan Pienta Designs did so much design work for us. I hope I'm not leaving anybody off. I'm always afraid that I've left someone off, but we're eternally grateful for all of our partners. They make this possible. So check them out in our video description link. And I think that's most of all though, we're grateful for our viewers. We put this on for our drivers, but the broadcast is for their family, their friends, the fans of Slingshot Racing. So we appreciate y'all. Continue to show up. We'll have weekly races, again, starting in August with the Xfinity series that we're running. And it's going to be a great season. Looking forward a little bit. But this one's been amazing. Who knows? We might have to make the 87s and the late models a summer tradition for Slingshot Racing. So I think that does it, though. Great way to kind of end tonight. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Thanks for being fans of Slingshot Racing League. Have a good night, everybody.